Well, thank you so much for joining us, everyone. We have a little bit of housekeeping up top. Top question is always, are we recording? Yes, we are recording. This will be available afterward. We'll put it on our YouTube channel. We'll also send it out to everybody who RSVP'd to this webinar. We um, uh, we will be dropping in useful links in the chat. So because this is not a basics webinar, we are going to go deep into a feature. We're going to just give you a whole bunch of other resources so that you can check it out. There's also a fantastic 101 webinar that is great if you're just getting started to scriptation. What else do we have? And yeah, we'll have Alex kind of feeding us questions as we go through. So as you have questions, please feel free to give them to us, and then we'll kind of manage when they kind of fit in the rundown that we have. And oh yes, we have a wish list, which is our way of managing all of the requests because we have so many different people who use scriptation from a lot of different areas, and everybody uses scriptation differently. And so we're really trying to prioritize the things that you want most. So as you go through, if there's ideas that you have, go to scriptation.com/wishlist. And then, of course, follow us on socials. We have a really funny video that Sophie posted recently that I can't even give it away, so I won't say anything, but it's hysterical. And then what have I missed? Alex, have I missed anything for housekeeping? No, I think we're good. Well, oh, yep, we're good. So we do have a poll to get us started because this is about our playback feature. We wanted to ask if you guys listen to scripts, and if so, where? I know that I listen to scripts on my commute. Well, I don't have a commute. I work from home most of the time. But if I am on set, that's when I have listened to scripts the most. Of course, I'm not just doing it at home for work. We've got on set between takes, on set or at my desk, at the gym, kids' sports practices. Where are you listening to scripts? And if you don't listen to scripts, let us know because we may convince you to convert to listening to your scripts today. It's a really fun way of being able to just kind of digest a lot of that information. So some reminders about scriptation as a whole. If you don't know us already, we are a PDF annotation app that was made for the film and TV industry, but has since, of course, grown into a lot of other really cool tools. It is free to download in the App Store on your iPhone, iPad, or Mac. All of the features work on all of those platforms. Sorry, Android and Windows users, not yet. But go see our wish list because there is a request there for those. It is optimized for iPads, and the playback feature is actually really good on iPhone as well. So we do recommend checking it out over there as well. And then the playback feature is actually free now. So if you are updating from a previous version of Scriptation, you can now listen to your script entirely for free. But there's certain parts of the playback feature that is part of our subscription. It's $100 a year for the Industry Pro subscription. And then we have an all new AI Voices subscription as well. So we'll get into that a little bit and explain kind of what the difference is between the two. All right. Do we have results for the poll? I don't know where to find this now. Where do we see the results? I'm sorry, Alex.
I just
Oh, oh, here it is.
Pop-up.
All right, so we've got 16% during my commute, 20% at my desk, and 60% don't listen to scripts yet. We may have some people to convert today because that's fantastic. Well, I'm really excited. Cool. Nobody during kids' sports practice. Yeah, well, and nobody during unnecessarily long Zoom calls. I'm not going to say that I'm.
Well, it wouldn't let me vote. So
Nice. Okay. Well, good poll, everyone. So yeah, we're going to go through a just really quick how to get your script into Scriptation. Ryan's going to cover that. Then I'll go into the playback stuff, and then we'll kick it back to Ryan for getting into how things have changed a little bit for our actor tools as well. Any questions that we should take a look at, Alex, before we dive in?
we're ready to go.
All right. Well, Ryan, why don't you take it away?
all right, so let's go ahead and get into scriptation. I'm just going to move over to my iPad here so that we can all see what I'm seeing. All right. So right off the bat, as you can see, I'm not in scriptation yet because most people will, when they receive a script, they're going to receive it through an email. So I'm going to open up my email right here, and you're going to see I have my script right here ready to go. So first thing I'm going to do is once I click on that, it's going to open up in the preview app. And from there, we're going to hit the share icon. And then that is going to take us into scriptation. Now, you might not see scriptation up here. We do have a help desk article about how to make sure you see scriptation right away, but you should see it right here. But if you do not, for whatever reason, you can always hit the down arrow and you'll see scriptation down here. So we're going to open the script in scriptation. And right here is where you could normally put it inside of one of your cloud storage. So iCloud, Dropbox, Google Drive, something like that. For this demo, I'm just going to leave it on my iPad. So I'm going to select. That's going to open up my script, and now I'm in scriptation. Now I can scroll through. You can see all the annotations that somebody's already done to this. We can see right over here. This is our view on the left side. This is where your file browser is. So this is where you can find all of your other scripts, everything inside of your cloud drives, everything on your iPad, your our showcase, which is really fun for like our Academy Award scripts and stuff like that. It gets very popular. And that's about it for that side. Up across the top here is where you have all your different modes. So this is where you can find your layers, playback, which we will show you. This is where you find your annotations. So basically you have everything that you want to do in scriptation, you would get from this bar right here. And if there's anything that's up there or anything that you want that's not up there, you can just hit this plus icon. You have your extra tabs right here, and you can also customize, which will allow you to put anything else you want up there. Going over to the right side, this is where you have, just like any other PDF app, you have your bookmark, you have your previous notes, all your outlines, all of your annotations would live in here. We have our what's called our facing pages, where you can go through and look at your script at a glance here, look at all your annotations, create sides, things like that. And then we have our brand new fancy menu over here, which I'll actually throw back to Laura to talk about that one. Me. Oh, stop share. There we go.
Yes, as mentioned up at the top, there is a Scriptation 101 webinar that will go through everything that Ryan just did and kind of expands on all of those things. But we wanted to make sure that you guys all have a kind of tour of where things are in Scriptation. I'm going to go ahead and share now as well. So if you are updating from the previous version of Scriptation, this menu up in the top right is all new. And this is because we have been adding in so many things to Scriptation that our previous, like a lot of different exports that you can do from Scriptation based on what you do. And a lot of our settings were they were all in the file browser and they weren't very organized and it was bothering me. So we have made massive improvements. So if you go up into this top right menu, there's a bunch of different options. So up in these top right tools, these are kind of things that are common on most PDF annotation apps and things like search, and these are all customizable. So you can now swap them out based on what you actually use. The export is what we had before, which is just you can go in, you can select all of the different pages, whether or not you want to embed the annotations or not. But now we have shortcuts to the ability to export layers. So now you can export layers as a PDF or as a layer file if you are collaborating with other people. And you can export your lining without having to go into the lining sidebar. So from here, you can do your editor exports and your exports as a layer file if you're collaborating with other script supervisors, all just from this fancy window up here. And then if you are using our tagging feature, all of our tagging reports are now here and a little bit more organized. So you can kind of switch between a PDF or a CSV of both of them. And now for all of our app integrations, because we have so many, the list just keeps on growing and people kept on asking us, what does this do? What does this do? So now there's a really quick explanation of what each of these tools do, because some of them are for scheduling, some of them are for call sheets, for shot listing. They're all different parts of your process down the line. So now you can see who we're friends with right now. And we are constantly adding to this list as well. And then down at the bottom, a shortcut for settings. This is another area that got a huge overhaul. So when I pop into my settings, everything lives in one place. So you can set up your workspace exactly how you want to based on what you are doing. So in here we've got oh, it's very important to put in your name for the author field. If you're new to Scriptation, it's also in the onboarding as well. This will be the default name for your layers. So it helps if you're swapping layers back and forth to know where that layer came from. And then all of your view settings. So these are things like doing two-page view, because you can see mine is like that right now because I've got my iPad in landscape mode. I always get those two mixed up, but I don't know why. Different transitions and whatnot. You can hide things from your file browser. So if you don't like our showcase area, you can hide that. I think it's cool, but anyway. And then all down here, these are just different tabs of different types of settings that are now organized. So your toolbars, as mentioned, you can change what tools show up on that top toolbar. So for example, right now on the middle section, I've got layers, playback, and annotate, transfer, and tagging. But if you wanted to, you can tap and drag and move these up. And then for the top right tools, same thing. So if I use search all the time, I can drag that up and instantly you can see that it's been added to these top three up here. And as we keep on adding more tools, they'll all end up in here and you can swap them out as needed. I also really like putting on always show top toolbar just for my process. If you are familiar with Scriptation, you can tap on the page and make the toolbar go away so that you have more real estate. But if you want to always have your top toolbar, if you're going into lining all the time, for example, this is a great kind of way to make it stick. And then it makes your page go smaller underneath it so that it all kind of nests. That's a great little hack. Annotations, bunch of stuff in here. We've got your annotation toolbar, different things on there, your time code settings if you're using that, different lining settings if you're in there, and then of course auto highlight settings. Now some of these will be a part of our subscription. So being able to adjust, say, the auto highlight to just the name of the character or just the dialogue, that's part of our subscription. But most of these settings are just with the base scriptation. In layers, a bunch of stuff up here, and then of course being able to customize all those info layers that you're using. So if you're using the automated, putting lines through all of the scenes or the bigger scene numbers, we do have a few different options for you in here. Live layer settings are for our team and enterprise users. Tagging, this is where you can now customize your tagging list, all the colors, you can adjust exactly where you want them in your list that pops down, add new categories in here, and then if you have everything set and you want your entire team to be forced to use the same colors as you can export that. They can import it into their version of Scriptation. We're going to get into playback settings in a minute, so I'm going to skip that one. This is our feed of all the interesting things that are happening in the land of Scriptation. This is our help center. So if you are new to Scriptation, this is a great place to get started. We've got a bunch of featured articles on how to get started. You can browse the help desk directly from within Scriptation now. All of these we have a ton of different articles all organized by different features. And then we've got some featured webinars. And then down here, you can get in touch with our Discord community. That's fantastic for just asking other users about their process. And then, of course, sending us a message if you can't find your answer anywhere else. All new tab for managing your subscriptions and different resources in here. So you can see that I have both an Industry Pro and an AI add-on active right now. And this is a shortcut to be able to manage that subscription. We do now have accounts for syncing that AI use. So this is where you can sign in. And in the future, we will be also adding things like, hopefully like settings and different things that we can now sync across your devices, which wasn't previously possible. And then just a few other resources down here. And then we have a fancy new about page. So you can find all of the socials that you should be following us on. Quick links to all of those down here and all of the information stuff that we get asked about every so often. Oh, I ran through that really fast. Hopefully all of this makes sense, but we're really happy with the way that this has turned out and allows us to grow. So as we add more settings, this is the place where you will be able to find them. Do we have any questions so far, Alex?
My
Oh,
friend,
there's so much caps in the chat right now.
a lot of enthusiasm. And Laura, I need you to know that Julie says that she loves the new settings, and she appreciates all the hard work that you did in there. And it is beautiful. I agree.
Right. So here we are back in our script. To get into the playback feature, it's probably up on your top toolbar. If it is not on your top toolbar, that means that it is down in this kind of more tools thing down over here. So this is where, when I showed before how to customize the top tools in your top list, we'll always make sure that you have access to everything, just in case you are somebody who uses every single tool at Scriptation. So you may find it down here, and then of course customize will let you go into that settings menu to adjust it. I'm going to pop into here, and now we are in playback mode. So in this view, all of your annotations kind of get stripped away. We take the text, we pull it up, and then we basically make it adjustable so that you can view your script in the way that you want to. So quick tour of this mode up here. This will minimize this view. Down here is your control bar. So this is where you can turn on your rehearsal settings, your recording settings, playback here, or sorry, presets here, all of your controls here, and then and this icon are your voices. Everything else will be set with the settings icon up here. This may look familiar. This is our settings modal, but this time on this tab for playback. So in here, you can adjust the display. So you could change the font to something like Times New Roman, if that's what you prefer. You can make the font size bigger. This is fantastic on iPhone if you just want to see it real big and you're using it as a teleprompter. We have an overlay that will show basically show what is being read at any given time. And then we have shortcuts to all of your auto highlight settings. So if you are highlighting characters, you can do that both on the annotate version of Scriptation as well as this playback mode, and it will reflect in both. So if I highlight a character here, like Daniela, you will see it in this mode. And then when you minimize this window, it will also reflect on your PDF of your script. We've got color presets and saved colors, which we can get into if anybody has questions about those, but they're basically being able to modify your favorite colors for things. And then different playback settings. So you can set your favorite language, you can set your favorite dialect that will get used for every script that you open afterwards. You can save specific voice settings for specific characters and then loop the scene. And then all of these rehearse and record settings you can adjust here or in in a little window that shows up when you are setting up your rehearsal. They're reflected in both. Ryan will get into those. So any questions about the settings of playback? I'm going to assume not because I'm running through this real fast. All right. So setting up your playback has been very much streamlined compared to the previous version. We used to have a read, rehearse, and record, and there were different modes, and you could have different settings for each of those. But we found that most people were just setting up their script and then wanting to go. So that's exactly what we have set up here. If you're familiar to other text-to-speech apps, they tend to just not understand the formatting of a script, and so they will read the character names, they'll read the continueds, they'll read everything. So that's why down here we have a preset setting. You can pop that open, and right now I have everything set to on because we want to make sure that if you start playing your script that you're not like, why isn't it reading something? So if you use this drop down, we have a few different presets. That is just how we internally in the team use it. So the first would be table read. And when I pop into that, you can see all of these different elements and you can see exactly what is hidden from view, what you can see but is not read, and then what will be seen and read. So scene headings, those will get read by the voices. However, the names, the extensions, the parentheticals, all of those, you can see them on the page so that if you're following along, they're not just disappeared, but they won't get read by the voice. So you can entirely customize this as well. As soon as you change something, you can see that it moves into the custom view. And now in the most recent update, the custom view is also saved as like whatever your custom settings are. And then, yeah, we've got the rehearsal mode, which Ryan will get into. And then teleprompter is if you want it to just view everything, but not have anything read. So that's effectively muting the voices, but you can still see, and as soon as you press play, it will scroll for you. So that's great if you are in an active table read and you don't want to scroll yourself, it will actually scroll for you. So playback presets, we're loving it. I'm going to go back into table read. And then down here in the voices panel, this is where you can set all of the voices for your script. We have two different sets of voices. The first will be our premium voices that we are launching with this whole Playback 6.0. You can go in and we will automatically assign different voices to the different characters. And this is especially great with the premium one because there's so many voices. But if you want to override anything, you can go into that character. In this case, I'm going into the narrator, and you can change the language, the dialect, and then you have 30 different voices. These are the Google text-to-speech voices. They're very good, and they're constantly innovating. So you can pop in and...
My name is Soccer Mum, a voice in English from United Kingdom.
You can preview them. I'm going to go back into...
Oh, my name is Smooth Operator, a voice in English from United Kingdom.
It sounds like it's getting cut off on the Zoom for some reason, but it does give you a full preview of what those voices sound like. And if you do not have this subscription set up yet, we give you those previews also in the Try AI Voices banner. You can go in and listen to how fun they all are. But you can also override and do basic voices if you prefer, or if you're working offline. So these voices do require the internet. That is why they are so much better. When we first released our listening back to scripts feature, one of the notes that we got was just that the voices sounded robotic. So these will give you an actual lifelike reading, but you can always move back into the basic voices as well. I will quickly show what this sounds like. So let's go ahead and give it a go.
Just got word that another script revision is on the way.
You're kidding.
I wish I was.
The script supervisor, Tim, pokes his head out from under a mountain of multicolored pages.
Are you sure?
Quite sure, I'm afraid.
I'll leave it there. But yeah, you can listen to any script with all these voices. They're all fully customizable. And it's really cool because you can kind of tell by that they get the tone of the scene and how they're supposed to be read. This is fantastic if you are an executive and you are listening to a ton of scripts, especially in pre-production and development, to be able to just kind of listen to it either while you read it so that you are really trying to absorb it, or if you're on the go and you don't have the chance to read it, this is a great alternative. And yeah, as mentioned, if you ever are working offline, there are completely offline on-device voices as well. You can just pop in here and go into basic. And then here you can see that we've now organized. These are the Apple voices that come preloaded on your device. So you don't need, you can use them when you're on the go. But they do have better premium and enhanced versions of the Apple voices. You need to go in and download those into your settings, but we highly recommend them above the other ones. They're not nearly as good as our premium voices, but as far as the Apple ones go, they're much better. And we have opened up those basic voices for free users as well. You do not need an Industry Pro subscription to be able to listen to your script, because we just think that it's such a cool feature. But the premium voices do require a separate subscription from Industry Pro. So you can see it's set up right here. It's called the AI subscription because it is connected to the internet. We want to be very explicit that that is what is happening. But they are just the premium voices that you can get through Scriptation. And we will be constantly adding more in the future as well. So that was Playback in a nutshell. Do we have any questions? Alex?
Hey, Laura. Do you mind if you show how to switch gender again of the voices, please?
Yes. So if you pop into, I'm going to go back into here, you would just click, so Rachel, right now she's assigned to cheer captain, but you can pop in and change her to Boy Scout leader if you prefer.
Hello, my name is Boy Scout Leader, a voice in English from United States.
It's going to keep on doing that preview, so get used to it. Sorry. But yeah,
So my
so
name is Cheer Captain, a voice in English from United States.
thank you, Chair Captain. So this is where you wouldn't assign a gender one way or the other. We just kind of give you an idea of what we think that the voices kind of sound like. And as you go through these, the fairy godmother is going to sound very different than the high school Juliet. They are all unique voices though, and then you can set kind of what you think works for the character. Any other questions?
We do. We have more questions. So Julie's asking, apologies if I missed it, but is there a way to adjust the speed of the dialogue being read?
You did not miss it. I entirely forgot. So down on this control panel, so this play icon is your start and stop. These will skip between scenes. And then right above this is your speed. So right now I have it on 1x. And then you can, my preferred is actually 1.2. I probably should have done that preview at that because it's a little quicker. I'm not a 2x listener. I know that some of the people out there in the world are, especially for podcasts and stuff. That is not my vibe. But 1.2x is kind of my personal sweet spot if you're playing around with this. I'm sorry, I missed that.
And then also you can adjust individual lines too.
Yes, and characters. So if you go into any of these characters, up here there's a settings icon. Here you can adjust the speaking rate just for a character, and you can adjust the volume as well. So if you, and Ryan will get into this, if you are doing something like line reminders, you can set your line reminders to be lower than all of the other characters, or if there's ones that you know that you're speaking with a lot. So you can adjust the character speed, the overall speed, and then the individual line speed. So this would be if you want Daniela to go real fast. Well, yeah, 1.6 seems like it's going to be okay. This is loading because it's an entirely new line reading.
I don't want to alarm anyone, but
Daniela takes.
So that goes much faster.
That's
all right. Any other questions?
I just learned that today that you can adjust the entire character. Cool. That we had. Somebody's asking if you could just quickly show how to get into the characters and voices again. I'm not sure if they're talking about playback in general, but playback will be on your top toolbar. And then within playback, Laura can show you how to get into the voices.
Yeah, it's going to be down here. So if you do not have the premium voice subscription active, then this will just be a regular blue. If you do have the subscription active, this shows that you are connected to the online voices. And then you would just click on the character. So up here, you've got your narrator. So the narrator will read things like the action lines, the character names, parentheticals, if you so please. The characters, these will auto assign just like voices, whatever is available in either the basic voices or the premium voices. And then to adjust what this is, you would just tap anywhere in that cell. So that will bring you into this menu, and then you can change the voices for this character here. I'm not going to click on one of them because it's going to do that preview.
And somebody else is asking about the age of voices, or can you give them regional accents? I know we showed a couple regional accents, and we've kind of like guesstimated ages with some of the voices, but can we share some of
that? So the voices, when they're delivered to us, they are not assigned genders, ages, dialects, anything like that. They're actually, it's really cool. They're given like Greek names even. So we tried to make it a little bit more fun and friendly for the film industry with different not tropes. Oh my God, what's the word? Archetypes. So, for example, the girl next door or high school Juliet are going to sound younger, according to what we felt like, versus people like the sage elder or the fairy godmother that are going to sound a little bit more like those archetypes. But this is all completely subjective. So if you disagree with me, let us know in the chat.
Another question kind of in a similar vein. Paula's asking about how non-English scripts would sound. I don't know if you guys have done any testing of that when you were developing. Probably, yes, that's great. Go ahead.
Yeah, so up here, the language, all of these voices can read scripts in other languages. So if I go in, these are all of the languages that the voices currently support. So if you are listening to a Swedish script, you can change that voice to Swedish and it will speak in Swedish. It's really, really cool. And then all of these languages also have dialects. So I can switch in all of the voices that you see below premium, like the premium voice section, all of those voices can be changed into all of these different dialects and languages and regions. We've tested on a bunch of different language of scripts. I don't speak Spanish, so I'm just going to assume that it is doing it well. If you change your language to German and it's reading an English script, it will read the script in English, but with a German accent. So it will not translate the script for you. I think that's very important. It will read the script as written, but just with an accent of whatever language you set it to, if that makes sense.
I think it makes sense. Also, this is just really for Laura. Patrick says that he loves the title of the script, Attack of the Triple Buffs. That was Laura, and I need to give her credit for that. Also, hi, Patrick.
Hi, Patrick.
I don't know if we can show this right now, but we might have a help desk article for it. Somebody's asking, how can I get the extra Apple voices if I don't have access to the new premium voices?
Yes. So yeah, I can show that. We also do have a help desk article because this changes all the time. But if you go into your device settings, so this isn't, and it's slightly different on Mac as well. If you go into settings, I don't know why. Oh, I was doing something with AirDrop earlier. And then accessibility, then voiceover, and then speech, and then voices. I just keep on clicking until you eventually get to this screen.
I did drop an article in the chat as well for anybody who's
okay, great. Thank you. We try to keep this one updated because I think that there's also multiple ways of getting here. But here you can click the cloud icon to anything that says enhanced. And these are organized by different regions. So we've got, it's slightly different than the way that our premium voices work because our premium voices work for every single voice type. Whereas Apple does it the opposite, where they have different names assigned to different voices, specific voices that work in a certain dialect. So these are all of the English voices that have a United States accent. And you can see that I have Nathan enhanced downloaded, but I don't have the main one of Nathan downloaded because I don't care. I just want the enhanced and premium ones. These Siri voices, we don't have access to. The Apple kind of gates the ability to use actual Siri voices, but all these other ones are available for you to use. And then if I keep going, English, I guess right now I only have English voices because my device is set to English, but if your device is set to a different language, then it will present to you all of the different options that you have for that language, if I remember correctly. But yes, so these are the offline ones.
Cool. Awesome. Lots of questions are coming in the longer we talk. So Deborah's asking, when you find a voice that you like, how do you save it?
Excellent question. I wasn't sure if we were going to get into this. So up here, when you have your voices set, there's a little three-dot menu up here, and then an option to save voices. And we will automatically select the voices that you want to save. And what this will do is set those voice settings that you had previously set for all of these different characters so that when I do save, every single script that I open up that has a Rachel will use that voice settings. This is particularly helpful for if you are on a series, for example. And to access those again, you go into settings up at the top and then go into saved voices. And then this is where you can get rid of voices if you no longer need them, you can change them, all that fun stuff. So that's how we do the saving of voices.
Wonderful. Sorry, I muted myself. Heather is asking, what are the playback preset settings and how do those work?
So down here in the presets, this opens up a similar menu to the way that we do the voice settings. Right now, we just have all on, which is it reads everything. Um, but we will auto assign the different voices for all the different characters. There's also, if you go into narrator settings, if you prefer one voice for everything, you can select narrator reads all in the narrator voice settings. But we think that it's more fun to have all the different characters read by different voices. So yes, all on is everything. Table read is basically how you would have it at a table read. So the action lines are read by a narrator, but then all the dialogue is read by different characters, and it skips things like the character names, the parentheticals, the continueds, etc. Rehearsal will strip away all of the action lines, and it's great for line readings. So this will only read the dialogue to you, and I think, nope, yep, just the dialogue. And then teleprompter is you can see everything, but nothing will get read out loud by the character voices or the narrator. So this is great for if you are in an actual real live table read and you just wanted to scroll. And then custom is entirely up to you. This is your playground. Set it up however you like, and it'll get saved in here.
Cool. I think those are all the questions we have for this section. We have a couple of eager friends who are excited to know what the camera tab is for, and they want to know how to toggle off characters if you're rehearsing. So I'll let you guys take it away.
Take it away, Ryan.
Yes, that will be my department. Here, let me share my screen. So I've been having a lot of fun with rehearsal and audition and stuff like that. So let's get into it. So we'll go back into playback, and just like Laura just showed you, we're gonna go and toggle on our rehearsal mode. So rehearsal mode is where you're going to do rehearsals and auditions. Everything will be right here. And as you can see right away, it sets it up to where it gets rid of all of the action lines. It just has the scene headings or the headers, but it actually doesn't read those. It's only going to read your dialogue. It's not going to read, as you can see here in the settings, it's not going to read the names. It's not going to read parentheticals, nothing like that. It's only going to read the dialogue. So for rehearsal, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here. This is our handy little rehearsal tab. And this is where you can select any character that you're going to rehearse as. So if you go to select character, you'll be able to see these are the characters in the script. And let's say I'm going to rehearse as Daniela. So I'm going to select Daniela, and it's going to give me some more options here. You have your highlight options again, where I can go in here and choose a highlight. As you can see, it's turned off right now. So we'll just go ahead and, whoops, just go ahead and do quickly turn that on. So now we have our different settings for your highlights, depending on how you like to use them, whether it's just the name, or just the dialogue, or the name and the dialogue. So you can see it easily in the script. And then as you go down further, you have your cue mode, which on voice means it's actually going to wait for you to say the line before it moves on to the next line. And then you also have automatic gap, where you can go through and choose the gap length and actually fine tune how long you want the gap to be for you to say the line. So I'm going to demonstrate the on voice today. We also have line reminders and your loops, where it will read the line back to you, or you can also loop your line as you're doing your rehearsals. And if you notice, you can actually set up multiple characters if you want to. So you can go through and rehearse multiple characters if you need to. But I'm just going to show you. So this is what Daniela looks like right here. And now if I go into my voices, you can see I have my AI voices on. The line that you're going to rehearse as is going to be grayed out, because nothing is going to read that except for you. This is your performance. This is where you get to have fun and do your work. So everything else will get read for the other lines. Now, let's go ahead and demonstrate it. So, of course, I chose Daniela, who has the most lines, and I am not an actor, but it'll be fun either way. So we'll start here with scene one, and I'll just demonstrate how this works. Let me just make sure my just to be sure.
You're kidding.
Okay, great. It can be heard. All right, so here's how it works. I just got word that another script revision is on the way.
You're kidding.
I wish I was.
Are you sure?
Quite sure, I'm afraid.
What did
And there you go. So that's rehearse mode. That is to where you can go through and rehearse your whole script and read the lines aloud. And the AI voices will actually wait for you to finish before it says their line. Again, like Laura showed, you can go in and decide how long you want their line to be or how long of a gap you want it to be. But that's essentially the basics of what you're going to do there. Now, yes, we also have this little fancy camera icon because if we turn that on, you'll see that we can also record your auditions right here in the app. So I'll turn that on. It'll ask to access the camera. Full access, that's fine. And you can see it has my image down here. You also see right here, this changed to a counter, and we also have a big red record button. Before I get into this, let's show you some of the settings that we have for this, because if you do have your slate, it will give you a slate countdown. So you can go through and adjust how long you want that countdown to be. And then that will basically give you, it'll hit record and then give you your time. It'll show you your time as you do your slate. And then you also have your record countdown here, which I will demonstrate because that is very helpful. So we'll just put it at 3 seconds here. And it'll just give you a little countdown before it hits record. So when you have your device out in front of you and you do all your things here, and then you hit the button, you can come back and get ready, and then it'll start recording. So let's go ahead and demonstrate that. Everything else will work the exact same way. We're just going to record this time. I just got word that another script revision is on the way.
You're kidding.
I wish I was.
Are you sure?
Quite sure, I'm afraid. And it'll go ahead and save that to your Photos app, and you can send that off for your auditions. It's actually really helpful, really convenient, and it's a great way for me to show that I will not be getting cast, but it's super fun either way. But yeah, that is rehearsal and audition mode.
Yeah.
I'd give you the part.
I said, yeah, I said in the chat, you did great.
Yes.
So we do have a question. Could we demo the line reminder settings for when you're rehearsing? Just a way to remind you how that works.
Yeah, so if we go down here, we can set our line reminders, and this will show either before or after. And so essentially what will happen is if I have that before, it should read the line to me before we actually have to say it. So let's just start ahead of that.
You're kidding.
Okay,
Was
there it goes. There's a little bit of a delay.
You're kidding.
I wish I was.
are you sure?
All right, so line before is actually, let's show line after so we can get a good demonstration of this.
You're kidding.
I wish I was.
I was. Are you sure?
Quite sure, I'm afraid.
Yes.
Quite sure, I'm afraid.
What
But anyway, it happened. It totally happened. But yes.
At home. The Zoom is not showing its best right now.
Yeah. So, but anyways, that's essentially what it will do. So it'll either read the line for you before or after.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's great used in conjunction with the blackout lines feature too. So if you go into the highlight settings, you can hide your lines if you are trying to learn them. Ta-da.
Yeah, that's always great for testing yourself. I thought I saw another question. This is just a friendly reminder to drop them in the Q&A because otherwise I'm afraid I might lose them, but I'm scrolling through to look. Also, thank you for all the people who just joined our Discord. I see you there. We appreciate it. Oh, here's a good question. If your lines are blacked out, will they still be read if you have those line reminders turned on?
Yes. Pretty sure. Yes. Yes, they will.
Just not if we're on Zoom. Keith is asking if we can connect an external camera for recording auditions.
No, but you can use the opposite. You can use the front and the back. I can't remember, Ryan, did you show those in settings?
I did not, but yes. So you can go in here to the settings and you can choose either the front or the back cam setting, or you can even do full screen here, so you could be looking at give yourself an eye line as well. So that's another way you could do this too.
Cool. I don't have any additional questions at the moment.
Go ahead and stop sharing.
Cool.
There you go.
No additional questions?
No.
I'm so impressed.
Because I did a great job. That's why.
You did do a great job, Ryan.
There's a lot of magic, amazing. People want to cast Ryan. People are very excited that it's more than just a script reading feature. It actually has other applications. Oh, yes. Yeah. So you can skip your lines being read and then you would deliver the line yourselves. Yes.
Yeah, and there's two performance settings for that as well. One is it can, so Ryan had it on Q mode, which means that it will listen to you reading and it won't move on until it detects that you have finished your line. But there's also basically like a hard gap version where however long the voice would take to read the line, we will leave a specific like gap for you. So I can quickly go in and show how to set those up. So if you go into the settings either here or in the rehearsal settings, so the Q mode, Ryan had it on voice, so that will listen to you, but the automatic gap will just do a set amount of time, and then you can set your gap length. So if you talk real fast, you can set it. No, if you talk real fast, it would be like this, because this is kind of like setting I always get this backwards. The speed of how fast the voice would be speaking if it wasn't muted, if that makes sense. But the on voice, like this Q mode one, will wait and listen until you're done. Hopefully that tracks.
I have one more question. People are asking basically if you could use this kind of like a teleprompter.
Yes. So if you want it as a teleprompter as you are performing and you don't want any other voices to read with you, then you can just click like this, and this will be basically a teleprompter. You can make it go faster. You can make it go slower. And you could use this in conjunction with the hi. Hello. But if you wanted it to scroll and not have the other voices, this would be the way to do your rehearse, do your self tapes.
I also see in the chat we're going to quickly lose people to World Cup. And
yeah.
we totally understand. Thank you for joining regardless.